Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stone Face Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back. Well, having finished Macross Frontier, we've got our typical rankings thing to do, where we've got character rankings, we've got top 5 episodes. But before that, actually, I want to prompt you with a thing that I didn't prepare you for at all. You remember before when we finished, God, I don't remember if it was the Firebomber thing or if it was Wings of Goodbye, where I said, hey, what is your top 5 things from Macross?
Okay.
I'm prompting you with that again because I have more information now and I want to share that, but I want to give our thing first before we do that. So, top 5 things in Macross. They can be a series, they can be OVA series, they can be movies. Each one individual.
Okay. From the bottom up, I would say, Frontier, the TV series, Macross Zero, the original series, Macross Plus, and Do You Remember Love?
I almost thought, well, wait, Macross Plus, which one? As I said, movie and OVA are different.
The OVA.
Okay. Mine has changed since the last time because I considered it. Macross FB7 is now my number 1.
Oh, okay.
Well, it gives you one, the condensed storyline of Macross 7. Plus, you get the Macross Frontier characters, and then you get them singing Macross 7 songs, so it's like a double whammy for me. Then, oh, now I'm forgetting what my list was. FB7, Wings of Goodbye. Wings of Goodbye. Sorry. Sometimes it's written as Wings of Farewell, so I'm confused sometimes. So,
the translation, I think Sayonara is the word they use, so it could be either way.
Well, I am looking at I'm literally on a page right now that has both names listed, and it's talking about the same movie. Anyway, FB7, Wings of Goodbye, Macross Zero, Macross 7. What is my number 5? I didn't even actually think about this. No, it's not gonna be. I'm not gonna throw people out there a bone for no good reason. SDF Macross, the original series. I prefer that to Do You Remember Love? Anyway, I prompt that because I have here a poll from the magazines and actually a live performance and everything from about 6 years ago, where they have the top 16, and I'm only going to list the top 5. Actually, I might say the top 10, just the top 10. Number 1, Macross Frontier.
Okay.
Number 2, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross Do You Remember Love? I should have just said Do You Remember Love? The movie. Number 3, Macross 7. Number 4, Wings of Goodbye. Number 5, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, the TV show, the original series. Number 6, Macross Delta. Number 7, Macross Plus, the OVA. Number 8, Macross Plus Movie Edition. Number 9, one of the Macross Delta movies. And number 10, Macross Dynamite 7. And just for the sake of it, number 11 is Macross Zero, my former number 1 favorite, gone down to number 3. No, actually, sorry, that's what I'm going to switch back around in my order. Macross Zero is my number 2, Wings of Goodbye is my number 3. I have a characters thing here, but I'm going to wait for that until after we do our characters thing. I'm not going to ask you about your top 5 mecha. I don't give a shit. Sorry. Top 5 songs. How about that? Top 3 songs. Top 3, because I'm not going to even know enough.
Number 1 is Lion. Number 2 would be, it says which one of the many Macross Plus ones?
Not that I would know them.
I'll go with Santiyu. No, that's not the one I want to go to. Oh, damn it, I gotta check the, because it's 2 songs in one, actually. Macross Plus. plus soundtrack. Okay. After in the Dark Torch song. That's my second one. My third one would be Do You Remember Love in the movie. And my fourth one will also be one from Macross Black, which is a Macross national anthem.
I don't know what that one is. Oh, you said from Macross Plus?
Yeah.
That's probably why I don't know what that one is. I just write those off. But you're just like, number one from Macross Plus. So all I really got from that was Lion was your number one, and Do You Remember Love is your number 3, or was that number 4?
Number 3.
All right, obviously mine number 1.
Light the Light.
Yeah, Light the Light. Sorry, I just blanked for a second. My number 1, Light the Light. My number 2 is probably Tugetsugi. I can't ever say the name. Love Heart.
Mm-hmm.
They're all going to be ranked across 7 songs. You know, Submarine Street, Holy Night, and then Submarine Street. But yeah, that's why I said I only list 3, because I only needed that. Anyway, your number 1 was Lion.
Mm-hmm.
That's number 2 on the top 50 songs. Do You Remember Love is obviously number 1. Love Heart is number 3 on this list. You didn't list Wings of Farewell, but that's number 5. The only one by Sharon Apple in the top 10 is Information High, and you didn't even mention that one. In fact, there's not even another Sharon Apple one in the top 20.
Well, not all the ones are Sharon Apple songs.
Well,
it's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, well, who else would they be by?
No, they're just music from the...
Yeah, but no, these are listed by the singer, like Firebomber, Ranka Lee, or the artist, like Sharon Apple is a Koni Are. Like, you have one in the top 10, and then you go down to number 31, Wanna Be an Angel is number 31 by Sharon Apple.
Yeah, no, that's not.
Apparently not very liked soundtrack-wise compared to the rest of... Heart and Soul, number 42 by Emilia Genus and Basara Nikki. Anyway, I just decided we should probably talk about those, and then I'll go back to top 50 characters and popularity when we're done our thing here. But yeah, we should probably start with our character ranking.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, I have done a new thing for the rankings to make it more... not interrogative, but more interactive, rather, between us and the viewers, and then I add a little bit more extra layer to make it more interactive between us as well. So let me zoom in here on the plus. We'll start with plus. As you can see here on the side, little color chart. They're separated. The top 3 will be... Here, let me show you F tier. And you'll get an idea what's going on here.
Okay.
Never mind, there is no F tier. Shit. Bad example. You'd think there would be, considering how much I didn't like Macross Plus, right? There we go.
Okay.
Now you see the color grading?
Okay.
So on top, like Marge, you and me scored him exactly the same. That's what the gray stands for.
Yeah.
The blue represents that we scored him higher than the audience did.
Okay.
And this is why I sent you a... Well, isn't that interesting? Once you told me you had finished doing your scoring stuff.
Yeah.
Because you might notice that I have ranked Raymond and Morgan higher than you did. Which means in the show I didn't like, I seem to have liked the characters more than you.
I mean, we talk about importance, and we're not that important, so...
No, I don't think any of our rankings are about importance.
Or impact.
No. No, it's appearance, well, maybe emotional impact. That was one of them, because it's emotional resonance, and you could say that's the same thing as impact. But it's not story impact. Like literally, none of our rankings, I think, have anything to do with impact to the story. It's about how much you enjoy them on 5 different principles. 1, distinctive personality. 2, compelling backstory. 3, iconic visual design. 4, emotional resonance. And 5, significant character development. None of those is how much impact they had on the story. Significant character development is just their character development. It hasn't, like, you can be a side character and develop yourself. So nothing to say about these 3?
Not really. There were minor characters that, I mean, Morgan, aside from being the spout, Myung's old friend and the husband to her best friend, he says a couple of words and he's good with his kids, but that's about it.
All right. I mean, this is your favorite show, man. So I figured this is your chance to spout. C tier, then.
Now, these 2 characters I liked.
So we scored Lucy the same as the audience. However, Eigen scored both of these characters higher than you did.
Yeah. I think the reason I didn't score Lucy and Kate is that I guess Kate should have had a higher visual score because she's pretty unique compared to the rest of the characters. And Lucy, she has a little more, I guess. Well, she doesn't have a lot of development other than, I care about this guy, but I can't have him, so, I'm not going to be a bitch about it. That's it, That's her entire growth of her arc, so.
I mean, I also point out that, again, down here in D tier, Raymond, we scored Raymond lower than the audience did, so it's quite possible that Raymond would have wound up in C tier if the audience had voted more for him. All right, going up to B tier then. And once again, I have scored these characters higher than you.
I mean, Millard is pretty important. And I think the reason Millard is, he seems to be this character who it's very difficult to pin down, right? Always watching from distance, always judging, but you don't know what he's doing, right? At the end, he proves to be an ally to the hero. But even then, it seems like he has his own agenda all the time, right? And Yang is just Yang. I think he lost points from the first time I watched him because being a little pervert and trying to enslave somebody, even if that somebody was an AI, who then turned around and tried to slave everybody. But, 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Are you really a bad guy if you try to beat the bad guy before they become a bad guy?
You're a bad guy on your own terms, not on someone else's.
Oh, that reminds me of that one comedy, that guy who rotoshops everything. In the video game world, you're a bad guy. You can see your own health bar. It's like, you can only see the health bars of enemies. You're an enemy to yourself. All right, A tier.
I guess we both scored him lower than he should be, Samu.
No, that's the audience.
Yeah.
The audience scored these 2 characters lower than we did. But this is where you finally start scoring people higher than me.
Yeah.
Remember, the top bar is us. The bottom bar is the audience, which is to say, red means that the audience scored us lower. Blue means the audience scored them higher than us. Purple means you scored them higher. Yellow means I scored them higher. Gray on both sides means we're the same.
I mean, Myung, and less to a degree, Samu, but certainly Myung does have character growth, right? She remembers why she's singing. She remembers that she has to sing for herself, which kind of reminds me of what Min-Mei said at the end, that she has to find her own way, her own voice, right? And Samu, grows about being responsible, right? That he's not only responsible for himself, but for other people as well. In this case, responsible for what happens to Mune, right? And accidentally, to everybody back on Earth being impacted by Sharon, right? So, yeah, I really like the characters, both of them. So,
okay. And S tier. Basically the same as A tier, where you've ranked them higher than me, and the audience ranked them lower than us.
Mm-hmm. I would have seen this reverse: Sharon and Gould being an A tier, and Isamu and Mune on.
In fact, you wouldn't though, because that's the benefit of seeing these little purple dots. Means that you didn't see them higher. You put them exactly where they were. They're only as high as they are because of you. The fact that these two are 45 means that they would have been an A tier if not for your vote.
That's what I would intend. I would want them to be higher.
No. I'm saying Sharon. You're saying Sharon Apple and Gould should be an A tier, and Myung and Isamu should be an S tier. I'm saying Sharon Apple and Gould are an S tier because of you. That's what you can infer from these lines. The fact that they're 45 means they're at the very bottom of S tier. If you had ranked them any 1 point lower in anything, they would have gone down to A tier. They are only up there because of you.
Yeah, but the audience scored them. No, says we score them lower than the audience.
Right. The audience thought that they should be higher.
So it was your score that brought them low.
Yeah. No, I ranked them lower. That's why. Follow me here, because you're apparently not understanding math. They have scored 45. You understand that, right? You see 45 under the name. You also see over here on S, 45 is the lowest you can be to be an S tier, which means that the purple here shows that you scored them higher than I did, which means the only reason they are at the bottom of S tier is the bonus points you gave them.
Yes.
Yes. So I don't understand what you're not understanding. Because I'm only really referring to the fact that you said that this should be reversed, that Sharon and Gould should be an A and Young and Isamu should be an S.
The difference in points are 2 points each, so it's easily that if I score them as high as I thought I could score them. But you didn't, so those points are your points that brought them to A tier.
Well, we also remember there's an audience vote portion of this. So the conglomerate average of the audience vote. And the audience vote also scored them lower, which means that you had 2 anchors on your vote of me and the audience, which is why I keep pointing out to you it's your numbers that brought them up here. And I'm only pointing that out once again because of your this should be flipped thing, because you said if it was my choice, and it's like your numbers put them here. This was your choice.
I mean, technically, Gould and Sharon have the most character development. I think that's the area where they really are the most points, if I remember correctly. And they're also more visually distinct. One is hologram, the other one is Centrati with a haircut. And
the other 2 are basic humans.
Yeah. So, yeah. And those 2 categories, they have to score higher.
Well, that's what I'm indicating, though, is that I'm not going to go into, like, the charts and indicate who ranked who. This is a very general, you gave them more points than me. Because obviously when I was making all of these, all I have to do is, all right, here's the score I gave them, which is all the numbers put together there. Here's the score you gave them. Your number higher, my number higher. Boom, purple, boom, yellow. Boom, purple, yellow.
But I do like the fact that there's no F characters. I guess all these characters are considered to be at least D or better.
Well, again, because if you look at the lower tier characters, I'm the one bringing them up. Which means also the audience is bringing up some of them alongside me. So really, you weighed down a bunch of these characters to try and drag them into F tier. Except for Marge, which again, we both literally had the same score for. Or like Lucy, where the audience had the same score as us.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen very often. Why I keep wanting to point it out. That a bunch of random people would have the same opinion about 2 characters. Or 1, actually. Alright, well, moving up to Frontier then. exposing the key, and then 2 F tier characters.
Not surprised.
Not surprised by which fact that the guy who showed up once is down here, or that you scored him higher.
Still not surprised that I don't think I would have scored him high enough to go out of F tier. There's 4-point difference. I don't think I gave him that many points.
I mean, we scored him lower than the audience did.
So, yeah.
But also, again, you scored him higher. I think I can't say there's an element of this going on in Frontier. It's not like in Plus, where it's like you scored the higher ones higher, and I scored the lower ones higher. There's more of a variance here. Let's go into the next. Because you got Miranda, Nina, Henry, Ogatai. Again, we scored Nina and Miranda exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was apparently more on the side of Ogatai and Henry than you were.
I mean, Henry is important as a background character. He doesn't get any character development other than fight the guys and get squished to death. So
Henry is an example of God has a plan for everyone. Yeah. And what's his plan for me? Well, you're going to get into a car accident that's going to inspire somebody to do a thing. Yeah. It's like, oh, so God's plan is that I'm going to suffer? You got it, buddy.
Yes. Yeah. I never said it was a good plan as far as you're concerned.
All right. Well, if you had no commentary about them.
No.
Then we got C tier.
Okay, but that from tier is
unfortunate.
Yeah. Oh, of all these, Nana scored the highest.
No, she scored the same as Richard. Remember, the points underneath the names is what matters, not the order of them based on the same points.
But the audience marked her higher, so they're the ones who dragged her up.
No. Wait.
No, you scored higher.
Yeah, I scored.
We scored lower than the audience. Yeah, but it's also we together scored her lower than the audience. So it was you and the audience that dragged her up.
Well, it's not. I don't think we dragged them up. I think we raised them up. I don't think the terminology fits. You can drag someone down. I think you raised somebody up.
No, yeah, raised them.
Well, again, this is the first time we're doing this new thing with the thing on the side. That's why I have the key on the side of everyone, because I can't remember what everything is.
I mean, Eddie is here basically for emotional impact because, that scene where we know that they're trapped in the shelter, and we know that the mom is fighting for their lives outside. It's pretty impactful.
Well, I mean, she has a picture of them on her thing too, so.
Yeah.
But, I mean, we ranked him the same, so.
Yeah.
I got the alien Bridge Bunny.
I don't think she's alien. I think she's supposed to be Indian.
Yeah, because Indians famously have black eyes.
Yeah, the whole black eye thing is just...
Also, we know, based on what we learned from Grace early on in Frontier, that the dot thing is just a cybernetic enhancement.
But these are supposed to be illegal, though?
Does that stop anybody?
Well, it stopped everybody in the Frontier. We never see her using it.
It didn't stop Grace from walking around Frontier?
Yeah, but she was from somewhere else, so she was...
So maybe like Mina is from somewhere else, like an alien would be.
Is Mina an alien? I'm going to have to check. I'm going to check.
Why? Why check?
Because I don't think she is. Because I don't think she is an alien.
So? Doesn't mean you have to check. That's racist. That's profiling. You want to be known as the guy who's profiling an alien?
Yeah, you're not going to get me with that one.
I already did. I already did. I feel like you paused for a second.
No, you didn't. Nationality, Indian.
Indian the planet.
Yes. Indian as in a
space. Space
human
India.
Who happens from India.
Right next door to Space Australia.
She's daughter of Saibatsu Roshan. Wow.
Stop reading profiles. What did I tell you about reading wikis? This
What,
is
we already seen
stricken
the
from the record because you're not supposed to be written wikis. Written wikis, that's right. Because, well, how about you say we've already seen? What if she showed up in Delta?
So what?
So you're ruining shit.
There's nothing there from Delta. This is from her background where she was born.
I'm telling you,
That's
what
it.
if she showed up from Delta? What are you talking about? I said, what if she showed up from Delta? And you said, so what? This is why it's going to be harder and harder to have conversations with you when we're watching new shows because you're going to be spoiling shit, and I can't be.
I did not spoil anything. It's just where she comes from. That's it.
I'm not even handling the you didn't get anything from that this time. I'm handling the so what that you threw out at me.
Oh my god.
You're like a 1970s anime narrator. I don't give a shit about spoilers. Just watch the goddamn episode. So yeah, Mina the alien.
Yes, because clearly Indians are aliens.
Yes, that's the racist thing you picked up on. Congratulations.
Yeah.
There's a reason that their culture was so advanced so early. Goddamn aliens. No, obviously I've been making goddamn jokes about her eyes the entire time, and you decided to look it up for some reason. As though, you're the problem here. You're like we're at the comedy club, and you're like, I'm gonna Google that joke. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
The racist joke, yeah, that one, yeah.
The racist joke about somebody who's constantly got black eyes the whole time you've known them.
Yeah.
I'm just going backwards now because SDF Macross, remember the doctor there who had also black eyes, and the joke was, oh, he's an alien. I feel like your whole goal here is just to ruin a joke that we've been going since.
It doesn't fit with her though.
It does, because she's literally got the black eyes of the doctor from SDF Macross. It's a trait that they for some reason animated in a show well past that one, and they never explained why the doctor had black eyes.
I don't know. You practice boxing or something. It's not important.
I think it is important, because it's a funny joke that you've ruined. You better hope there's nobody in Delta with black eyes.
Then I'll have to go to the wiki.
Legitimately, I was about to say, if you look at the wiki, we're done. We're done professionally. Honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do if you start just spoiling shit.
Sorry.
Lessons. I literally do not know what I'll do.
I have not spoiled anything.
Well, you did. In fact, remember? Because you know something about Delta that you should not know because you went out and looked.
I haven't told you. I didn't look. I was in a Facebook page, which is a Macross page, and this image came up. I was like, what the hell is this? Like, oh, I didn't actively search it out. I didn't go like, I need to know what happens in or something in Delta. I want to watch the series. Sometimes spoilers happen.
But for some reason, they happen to you so much more than anybody else.
And I didn't tell you what it was, so you're not spoiled. You're only spoiled on the fact that I'm spoiled.
But now I can't actively have a conversation with you, which is a disappointing bit.
Why not?
Because you know something.
About what?
Yeah, this is why we're never going to survive in the apocalypse bunker together. They're going to find one of us stabbed. That's all I can think. Guys, I think he's stealing the food, and then I wind up dead.
I mean, that would be a spoiler.
All this food is spoiled. I blame Lessons. Anyway, B tier. Again, we ranked Raunchy the same.
Mm-hmm. Jeffrey Wilder, I always liked the character.
Even though I liked him more, apparently.
I liked him. Well, I like Bobby more, but
yeah, apparently see that was mainly my takeaway on the upper color bands. Who liked who more, I guess. Even though it isn't even really a description of like. You'll see. Obviously we've got another board heading up here, but there's going to be ones that you've got a higher rank on, which are reprehensible characters, and it'll be like, maybe labeling them as characters we like more isn't the way you want to go about it. But then again, that I'll go over that one when we get there, because that's where I thought you betrayed our trust.
Really?
Yeah. It'll make sense when we get there, and then you'll probably try and defend yourself, because I think maybe the argument is that I betrayed the sanctity of the board, but I think you betrayed our trust when you did that. But it's not a Frontier character, so don't worry about it right now.
Okay.
And anything else to point out about these characters, though?
No. I mean, I'm surprised you scored Luca higher than. I guess he does have a distinctive view. He's short, has pink, red hair. Yeah.
I don't know that I would have given him a lot of points on appearance. Is what it seems like you're putting out there, because if there's a number of characters that all have like the same uniform or something like that, then I don't typically give them high points for character appearance, because there's a bunch of people that look like them. Like, I don't know. There's not really an example I can pull here in Macross, in Frontier, I don't think. Because all the character images we have here are basically different. I think I mentioned this before in Gundam, for example. The Zeon mooks, right? They all have like the same goddamn uniform, whereas like the Earth Federation mooks are less of them, so you don't see the same uniforms all the time, and their uniforms are a little bit more distinct. So like for a Zeon mook, I might give like a 4 for appearance, unless they've got some weird head thing going on. Whereas Earth Federation guys, I might give like a 5. But Luca is like with Michael and Alto in that they have like the same military uniform, or they wear the same flight mech suit sort of thing.
Yeah.
Probably I gave it for character development, because he goes through that whole Nina thing. He does the whole I'm selling out the Frontier thing, and then turns it back around. There's a lot of little things with Luca.
More in the movie, although in the movie we don't see him with a strong relationship. Actually, we see more relationship with him and Leon than anything else, which is interesting. And he has a sister, as opposed to a brother or brothers.
Well, we've yet to establish which one of those is canon.
Yeah.
All right, A tier.
I is A tier. Good. Did I score? Yeah, I score Catherine higher than you did, definitely.
Of course, I scored Mao higher than you did. Because I love myself some Macross Zero.
Yeah, but in this story in particular,
she was studying the Vajra shit. She got into somewhat of a debate with. Well, no, actually, that was Ranchi.
Yeah, I was meeting.
She is related to Cheryl. I believe the indication is that those are Mao's earrings that Cheryl wears.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot of shit going on there.
Mao is a grandmother, yeah.
And there's
she herself has no character.
Well, she does. There's some sort of... the same way that we scored Max in Macross 7, Max and Milia, there's some sort of... I can't think of the word that I'm working here. Not like being grandfathered into the scoring system, but, there's some sort of carryover. You're important because of what I think about you from before. You got to layer that into backstory and character development and everything like that. You've got established points. Now, you could do stuff to ruin that established points, but I don't think they did. Like, I think in the overall charts before, like Max, Milia, they both went up for appearing in Macross 7, whereas Exodol went down. So, you can't screw that up. And of course, I scored Grace higher. I love Grace. But apparently, the audience scored them higher than us. So it's really you that brought Grace down.
Yeah, I mean, I do like Grace of the movies, but she's definitely very different from Grace of the show.
I liked both. I like both versions of Grace. But it being only a 2-point, or I guess 3-point difference from S tier, conceivably you may have dragged Grace down into A tier. Nothing else about A tier?
thought that Clang would have been here, though. Interesting.
You thought who?
Clang would be lower.
Oh, you're referring to Clan by her surname.
Yeah.
As we all know, the three main female leads of Macross Frontier: Cheryl Name, Renka Lee, and Clan.
I mean, I like Cheryl more than Renka, but I don't. I thought I hated Renka more when I saw her, and then this time around I kind of got what she was doing, and I didn't dislike her as much.
You hated Renka?
The first time around, yeah, because I felt that she was stupid and she betrayed.
I thought she was stupid.
Yeah.
Lessons 2025.
But the first time
I watched I'm sorry, actually, Lessons 2008 or whatever.
Yeah. But when I saw it again, I understood what position she was in. I was like, okay. So a rewatch is it's always something that helps.
All right. Well, that is Macross Frontier and Macross Plus. And additionally, obviously, you can see this says all. I went back to all of our previous rankings, so it's not going to be one for the audience on a bunch of these, but I went back and ranked who higher on all of our previous rankings in the entire Macross series. So that's why this took me longer than normal.
Okay, so where is this betrayal of yours at?
Oh, hold on, I forgot what her name is all of a sudden, but I know what she looks like. So obviously, yeah, the ones where there's no viewer rankings, that's what the black one is, because we weren't sharing the score. I mean, take a look around, see if you have any commentary about surprising who ranked who higher in what.
Well, you ranked Exodal higher, even though you didn't like the redesign in Macross 7, because it follows the movies. Sim, interesting that I'm the one who ranked him higher.
Yeah, again, I just find this all very interesting, who ranked who higher where.
Roy, which I usually score higher, even though he's your favorite character.
Yeah, love me some Roy.
Yeah.
I mean, surprisingly, Gould found his way up.
Yeah.
But
I don't remember that there were any S tiers. The S tier was empty. No, wait. The original
ranking system that we used, again, this took me longer because of that, was the 1 to 100 system. So I had to readjust all of the rankings to the new way, which is, was it 5 to 50? Yeah,
because I remember that the only S tier character that was in S tier for the original series was Roy.
Yep,
and now he's A rank.
Yeah, shifting to our new form, he moved down in rank, ironically, because he was like he was 86. He was like an 86 before, which used to be S tier, but now he's actually a 43, which is only an A tier. So yeah, no SDF Macross characters or 0 characters make it to S tier. Sorry, you were going over everything, so I was like, I gotta follow you, because I'm the camera. So unfortunately, I didn't get a chance to find the character I'm talking about. Where is she? She's gotta be around F or D. I mean, she's not an F because of you. That's the betrayal. There she is. Sasabi.
Oh.
That's the betrayal. Is that you brought her up to D tier.
Yeah,
because you gave her a bunch of points, and I thought the agreement we were going to work with, the unwritten agreement, was that I gave her straight 1s. I gave her 5 points. You see, if I gave her 5 points...
You gave her a 9?
No, I gave her a 5.
Yeah, but if you
gave her a 9, yeah. You gave her points. You said...
she did have an emotional impact of a very negative twins, but she did.
Again, you put her above all of these other characters.
Hey, I hate her guts.
What did Flower Girl do that was so bad as Sasabi?
No, it's not that It's just this Flower Girl is just so boring that,
Oh, yeah, because this was better.
No, it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying, the betrayal. That I thought we agreed that what she did was so horrible and not necessary to anything that we would just dunk her. That she would be at the bottom of F tier, but you're like, nah, I'm going to give her points. That was the betrayal. That's why I said you maybe could argue that I betrayed the sanctity of the board by not scoring her honestly, but by scoring her on personal opinion. But fuck it, man. She should have been dunked. But yeah, that is the new ranking system with the ability to see who voted for who, where, and higher. I still got Macross 7 songs going through my head.
Yeah, so those were the rankings.
So,
as far as characters, yeah.
As I said, the poll from 6 years ago, which is again after Delta had already been out.
Yeah.
Number one character. Who's number one on ours?
One character would be Cheryl.
Number one, Cheryl Name. Our number two,
Ranka.
Basara Nikki, which I believe is somewhere down in like C tier or D tier on ours.
Yeah.
Great songs, not a great character. Our number three,
Clang.
Oh, you already said Rankin was our number two, right?
Yeah.
Rankin is number three on here. I'm just gonna say this one out loud because it's not gonna work for our list. Number four is Cheryl Name again. From The Wings of Farewell. This is why I said on this listing it has The Wings of Goodbye and The Wings of Farewell. This one there. Our number five here is a character we don't know yet, so I'm not even committing it to memory to read it. Number six, as we already know, our S tier has nobody from SDF Macross. Lin Min Mei, specifically the Do You Remember Love version.
Okay.
Number seven, Isamu Dyson from Macross Plus. There's another Macross Delta name, not committing it to memory. Number nine, Roy Fokker, specifically from the show. And then Min Mei again from the show. That's their top 10. I guess if you don't want to include the Delta ones, for our sake, number 11 is Misa from Do You Remember Love? And number 12 is Roy from Do You Remember Love? So, number 9 is Roy from the show, and number 12 is Roy from the movie. Number 13 was Ranka from the movie.
So we're not that far off, actually.
Well, we're not that far off on Cheryl and Ranka. We're way off on Basara.
Well, popularity and taste are not the same thing.
Hell, Clan, who is number 3 on ours, is number 22 on this list. Let's see, where's Sharon? Is Sharon Apple on here? Because she's our number 4, right? Flower Girl's number 30. Sharon Apple, I love this. Sharon Apple is number 34, but the thing that says Sharon Apple, Macross Plus, brackets, really? Capital question marks. And Gold. Gold?
Mm-hmm.
Is that Guld?
Yeah,
there it is. He's number 28 on this list. I guess this is... I don't know if this is somebody's opinion or not, because I'm also looking at Hikaru is number 26, Super Dimensional Fortress Macross, brackets, finally! So is that just somebody editing their opinion, or...
I guess so.
Oh man, there's a character in here from SDF Macross 2.
No, Macross 2.
No, yeah. No, I said?
You said SDF Macross 2.
Yeah,
there's no SDF in Macross 2.
No, it's actually listed. Super Dimensional Fortress Macross 2. Lovers Again.
I never read it that part.
That is the only Macross 2 character on here. Number 40, though. So, I guess I'll keep an eye out for that. But yeah. That has been our rankings on the characters. There's no way in hell I'm going to be able to zoom out enough to have this on the page. There we go. I'll do it like this. But of course, I'll probably add a link to the board or an image of the board in the posting so that people can see it in their own time. Because obviously a lot to do here. Trying to do this on a little screen and a window and a movie. But yeah, no, now we also have top 5 episodes from Macross Frontier. And I'll say I don't have like a lot of notes for this. I just listed them and try to like put little dashes of like, this is why I put this here. Mm-hmm. So I probably think you've got more thoughts about this than I do. So we should probably start with your number 5.
My number 5 is episode 5, Start Date. And I'll read the intro to it. So to remind us which is the episode and then why it is. Cheryl seeks out Alto again in his quest to find the earring she lost in episode 1, which is the keepsake from her mother. She orders Alto to guide her around Macross Frontier Fleet, and the two end up in a date of sorts. I like this episode because it's the episode that shows us how the Centrati live. The Centrati Mall, it's Runka, we know that she can sing, but it's like a first public exposure. And how she captures people, I imagine it's like, oh, this is the impact. And I also I like the fact that this is Cheryl and Alto going on a date, and we get to see more of Cheryl as a sort of laid down, less the professional type, like, oh, the alpha bitch, as she was being like, oh, these little boys, whatever. And she's more like, okay, I'm letting my hair down. So as character development for the 3 of them, and Michael's there as well, who basically calls both of them out, Ranka and Alto. I think it's great for 4 of them as character development. It's a very heavy character. And also you get to see the city, you get to see, Frontier City.
I would indicate that's also only how the Centrati on the Frontier live.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously, because there's Centrati in 7, and they don't have macronization areas, so... I'd clarify, though, you said that was Star Date, right?
The episode is Start Date.
Start Date? For some reason, I thought it was Star Date.
Star Date.
Yeah, so I was right, okay. So I'm also having to write down...
No, Start Date.
Yeah. Then so I have to write down your list, too, for when we do this, so...
Yeah.
Does not make mine, obviously. I would have indicated when you started saying that. Alright, then. I don't have anything else to say about that episode, because I don't really remember it that much beyond what you're saying, because obviously I remember the first time they went to the giant mall. So, but not a lot jumps out at me. Like, most of my list is literally going to be episodes I remembered things about specifically, and the fact that I remembered them so well is why they're on my list. So my number 5 is episode 12, Fastest Delivery. Is it on your list at all?
Nope.
Alto and Cheryl arrive at Gallia 4 for Cheryl's next concert, but Cheryl's illness finally catches up to her, leaving her bedridden. The already belligerent group of Zentradi at Gallia 4 military base use her sickness as an excuse to mutiny. My little jot notes here about why it's my number 5. It's the best Ranka performance pre-hologram stuff. When she flies in and gives the performance that calms everybody down. Yeah. And for also that reason, it's essentially the whole culture storyline of SDF Macross in one episode.
Yeah.
Even with stand-in Britai, stand-in Exodol, stand-in Quamzim, literally the same characters.
They even explained it because they're coming from cloning facilities that they have the same patterns and have a tendency to be, emulate the same characters.
So yeah, I almost considered putting the episode where Grace blows up the planet. Like, if that had happened in the same episode, that would have been great. Unfortunately, I had to pick one of the two. And I chose Fastest Delivery for the concert. I think you'll find that some of my earlier picks are going to be like, I liked the music. I liked the music in this episode. That's why that's my... Anyway, number 5. What's your number 4?
My number 4 is Diamond Crevasse. Or Crevasse.
I'll interrupt you real quick. That is my number 1. So you go ahead and say why it's your number 4 first, and then I'll add on.
Yeah, I mean, why? After Ranka comes to the Miyoshi Academy ended, Ranka runs to the school rooftop looking for Alto, planning to confess her feelings for him. However, to Ranka's surprise and dismay, she found Cheryl in Alto's arms. When she finally gets there, as Ranka runs away in tears, the Vajra appear inside the main island, turning the entire city into a war zone. During the attack, Mishima starts a coup and his men assassinate Frontier President Howard Glass, while Michael dies while protecting Clang from the Vajra.
Yeah, I don't know how this is your number 4. This is like one of the best goddamn episodes of the show. Obviously, my number 1. So,
and I think because of all those developments, right? You have the death of more than the soap opera. I found her in his arms kind of situation, which is important, but to me, it's not as important as hey, Mishima takes over assassinating the president, and then the dead body is found by his daughter, Catherine. And
actually, the dead body is found next episode.
Yeah.
I went back to rewatch because I put it as my number 1, and I'm like, why is this my number 1 again? I rewatched the episode, and it's like, oh, she doesn't find the dead body here, which would have been like, I only have 3 points I wrote down for here, but that would have been like a 4th point. Because you're saying the unimportant bit about Ranka, but I was like, my number 1 point right there was Ranka's emotional fallout, because she says the thing that hit me the hardest from her, which is, I hate this. This hurts. I was like, oh, you're vocalizing exactly how you feel, and I actually appreciate that. And I also completely understand it, but I also wrote down the coup episode, President Assassinated, Michael's death / love confession. It's like, this is the best episode. I don't understand how it's so low on your list.
That's in my top 5 because I think they're better episodes.
Oh, I disagree.
It's a solid episode.
I mean, obviously, I disagree. It's number 1. Look, no other episode has as much happening here on so many different fronts. Like, maybe, like, the final episode has the biggest action of everything, but it falls off on all other fronts because it's so focused on one thing. Whereas this one hits you with the politics, it hits you with the emotionality, it hits you with death and surviving, and it hits you so much other shit. It hits you on every single front that a show can hit you on.
Right. I mean, it has all those points, but I think to me, they're more memorable episodes that come after as well. So,
I mean, again, my problem is I can't agree with you because my list has it as number 1. To admit that you would be right would be to defeat my whole list. But you're really gonna have to sell everything after this on your list to make this work for me. Anyway,
what's your next?
My number 4 is episode 15, Lost Peace. Is that on yours?
Nope.
While Cheryl is recovering from her illness, all her work is cancelled. When she is informed that Ranka's popularity is now rising, she becomes insecure and worried about her own musical career. During that time, Alto and Ranka give her a friendly visit. Literally, it's my number 4 on this list because, well, what's the thing I keep saying all throughout the Macross Frontier reactions we've been doing? What? No, yeah,
that's a duet.
Famously, that's what I've been saying. That duet. That's the thing I've been saying all this time. That duet. What's the thing I've been saying?
Oh, the emotional connection between the characters.
That's the thing I've been saying constantly every time. Like, when the fights are happening, I'm like, hey, Lessons, what about the emotional connection between the characters? Famously, the thing I've been saying. You're not going to figure it out.
The end out was an idiot, but yeah.
No, the thing I've been saying constantly is, what about my star? How do you not remember? It's all I've been saying lately. This is the duet in the hospital where they sing "What About My Star," and it's the best version. Like, I don't really care for when they do it in the giant holographs and everything, because this doesn't matter. That's them singing for an audience. This is Cheryl trying to one up Ranka. It's like, I'm losing my music career. I'm not going to lose this guy though. And she starts singing the song, and then Ranka's like, oh no, fuck, I'm going to lose it all. I better jump in on this. And they do a duet at Alto, who's like, on the banner as everyone's looking up at him, and it's "What About My Star." It's the best version because it means something. So that's my number 4.
I thought I put it in my list, but it just for some reason it didn't
Well,
rank
as I
high.
said, the music sometimes is the reason why these wind up as that's my number 4, number 5 proposed on musical reasons.
Yeah. I guess I'll do my 3 then. Hard Chase, episode 2.
You said hard chase or heart chase?
Hard Chase. To protect his and Ranka's life, Altos takes control of the SMS Skull Squadron Phantom FF-25 Messiah fighter after the original pilot is killed in action. Alto rescues Ranka and flies for their dear lives with the rest of the SMS Skull Squadron platoon. Sorry. Comes to the rescue. After the battle, Osmo Lee, the leader of the Skull platoon and Ranka's League Guardian, takes Alto to the SMS quarters and asks to know how his teammate died.
And you thought this was better than Diamond Crevasse? Number 2.
Yes, because to me, it had a bigger impact. These are the couple of episodes, especially the first 2 episodes, that really sold me on Frontier. Like, oh, let's see what's going on. It's like, oh, shit. I like this. I really, really like this. And that's what one of the episodes that short arc of Alto being introduced into this military world and becoming part of the SMS, and start to we get to know who Alto is, who is he fighting, why is he fighting, why does he want to join, etc.
I mean, I get you on the element of it sold you on it, but Time and Crevasse is one of those episodes that's not trying to sell you anymore. It's like, this is what you're here for. This is what you wanted to see back in episode 2 when we sold you on this. That's why I feel like those would have been flipped in the more logical scenario. These are the episodes that sold me on the show, and this is why I loved the show. I obviously Hard Chase is not on my list. I don't think any of the sub 10 episodes are on my list. The things that got me excited to watch the show are good, but the things that got me the payoff, again, I think we had a discussion about this back like Macross 7. There's setup episodes and there's payoff episodes. The early episodes got you excited to watch the show, but they're not the dessert. The dessert comes later.
So what's your number 3 then?
I bet you could guess this one. Want to take a shot?
No. I got everything wrong so far, except for Diamond Crevasse. It's the only one we have in our list. So
yeah, I mean, thankfully, this is like one of the times where our lists are going to be completely different. Although I would be surprised. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't put it on there based on your crazy ass list so far. My number 3 is Legend of Zero, episode 10. Ranka Lee is contracted to act in a minor role during a movie about the legend of Shin Kudo, while Cheryl Name is the main female protagonist of the film. I like what I like. I like Macross Zero. How could I not like an episode dedicated to Macross Zero?
I thought about putting that in. That would probably be in my top 10. It does have good character development again. You have Alto and Cheryl talking. Cheryl's like, yeah, I'm pretending, but I'm not, but I am, And then Ranka goes like, well, I'm going to make the character. I'm going to do my own thing. And she does takes the character and also gets to kiss Alto.
I mean, she doesn't do her own thing. She literally does what Mao did, so...
Yeah, but she's, in her own career, she now takes this movie and, which helps her, boost her career significantly. And I think this is the episode that ends with the Brera being introduced as well? Or is the next episode?
Well, no, he gets introduced. Depends on what you want to say by introduced. We see him way earlier than this. But this is the first time he actually encounters them because he protects them from one of the infected beasts on a cliffside. But that's also when we see that he is a cyborg because he gets an arm ripped open or something like that.
Yeah, that's a blade that also comes out of the arm as well.
I mean, for me, this would be like if you were super in love with SDF Macross, the show, and then you wanted to reflect that on your Macross 7 episode list. It was like, oh, obviously my favorite episode of Macross 7 would have to be the one where Basara and Mylene dress up as Hikaru and Minmay. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess I can see that. Except this episode was way more of that. Probably because of the fact that Zero and Frontier were released nearest to the same time.
Oh, my second episode is the first episode, Close Encounter. Famous galactic idol singer Cheryl Nome rides in Macross Frontier Colonial Fleet for the last leg of her 18-month concert tour, which coincides with the attack of the Vashra. I like the action. I like the introduction of the characters. I liked everything about that episode. It's a good. If you're gonna start any series, it's a great way to start. Right? You have the characters are introduced in a substantive but not overly way. Right? They're shown doing stuff. Michael, the fact that he's hitting on those girls. Well, actually, Michael isn't even hitting on those girls. The girls kind of, he does hit on the girls. Cheryl sort of blowing away, Catherine, but kind of like, what a bitch, right? But you get a feeling that Catherine kind of knows about what's going on, right? And she got assigned this crappy job. Alto trying to show off. That's why, Alto is skillful, but he doesn't have experience and the wisdom to go with it. So when he tries to show off, it goes awry, and it's Cheryl being the professional saying, hey, you made this mess. We're going to right it, right? You're going to fix it right here, right now. I'm not going to stop the concert, right? Then the whole thing with the Vashra, the attack, which is pretty tense, because we don't know who these creatures are. All that makes it for an excellent episode in my mind. If you're going to start a series, that's the way you do it.
I mean, sure. I don't know. The element that you're like in your top 5 is almost the first 5 episodes. It's just a crazy way.
Gilliam's death too. The way Gilliam died as well was pretty impressive.
I mean, sure. I mean, I don't disagree. I disagree on the element that this is not how I would do a list at all. But you're obviously, I can't say what your favorite episodes are. I can debate about where you put Diamond Crevasse though. But I anticipate that your number 1 is probably going to be my number 2. So I'm incentivized to say, just say what your number 2 is, and I can confirm or deny if your number 1, and I can confirm or deny if that's my number 2 or not, because I anticipate it will be.
My number 1 is Your Sound, episode 25.
Because based on the standard way that all lists of this sort of nature kind of go, of course the last episode is going to be on your list. And I thought Diamond Crevasse was even better than Your Sound. So that's why Diamond Crevasse was my number 1. Again, it hits a spectrum of things that Your Sound kind of only dabbles in a few of them, and it hits you mostly on, hey, you want to see some action scenes? Hey, you want to see the conclusion of the story? I think Diamond Crevasse did all of that better. But yeah, of course, Your Sound was going to be on your list somewhere. So the fact we got through all those starter episodes before we got to your number 1.
Yeah. I mean, it's aside from the magical curing Cheryl by going, sort of into her brain and going, oh, magic, space magic, you're cured. Everything else kind of fits well, right? The stakes are set up with the Vashra attacking all these planets simultaneously, but then people coming back to help the frontier, which is the thing. Is like, sorry, you were constantly asking, where are the other fleets? Why is nobody helping Macross 7 fleet, right?
Well, I mean, I already stated back then how they could have done that better. But yeah, that's also why it's my number 2. It's a callback to everything we've seen. Because I think we see Macross City, which has the SDF Macross City in the middle of it. Which kind of also not only calls back SDF Macross, but calls back Macross Plus. You say Isamu was there. I'll take your word for it.
Well, he's been both, but he clearly is in the movie because we see him and we hear the voice going, it's like, jumping in his own.
Once again, you use that word clearly. It's probably the same way that I use it's obvious. Because both of us have arguments against one or the other. You say it's clearly, and it's like, I don't think it's too clear. I didn't. And I say it's obvious, and then have to explain the obvious thing, where if it was obvious, you wouldn't have to explain it. So both of us think things are pretty cut and dry when they're not for the other one. But yeah, no, for me, I really appreciate all the callbacks to the other shows, especially having watched the series with you, so we kind of have all of these things set up for us.
Also, I know that you liked the ending in
Wings of Goodbye.
Wings of Goodbye, and it's a good ending.
It's better than the show.
I like this ending. I disagree. Couple of things. First of all, I like the fact that Alto doesn't just disappear, right? And yes, in movies,
prefer it though.
He's there, and their story's going to continue. And it would have been cool if they had mixed the thing that Cheryl is comatose, right?
Well, see, here's the thing. The show gives you more of a Macross 7 ending, which is, what the fuck happens now? We didn't really finish anything. Now Alto's flying around, and I still got Rank and Cheryl on the ground to figure out. Whereas SDF Macross kind of answers the question about who's ending up with who. Whereas the movie doesn't do it at all. It's like, now we have a whole different thing. Now it's not who does Alto wind up with, it's where the fuck is Alto? We gotta go find Alto. Now we're gonna come together to save the man that we both fell in love with. And that's what I'm saying. We don't answer a question, we create a whole new one. And I appreciate that we're just not left on the Macross 7 thing of, okay, now that's done. We still have the rest of the other thing to deal with.
No, because one thing is that the Macross Frontier Fleet does settle in the Vajra homeworld, and the Vajra are still there, so it's implied that they share the planet, like the Vajra and the humanity comes into
I appreciate that I asked a whole series of things and you answered a question I didn't ask.
True, but that's one of the reasons why I think it's a better ending as well, right? And I like the fact Alto's alive and whatever romance they're gonna have. I mean,
we know that Alto's still alive. He's in fact above the galactic plane. We saw that in a possibly canon.
And I mean, technically, he already had chosen Cheryl, so that romantic triangle was.
You don't know. You literally don't know. It didn't seem like Ranka had given up on it yet. Also, you say they're already living together. Well, if we meander our way back some 20, 30 years to the past, where some hotshot pilot was living with a commander from the SDF Macross, and then who shows up but Min-Mei to try and give her one last chance at this?
No, it's the other way around. Min-Mei moves in with
so you're saying that the person you're living with isn't the person you wind up with. That's an interesting point to bring up, Lessons. Very insightful of you.
But I think clearly Aldo already had chosen Cheryl from way back.
No, that doesn't mean anything. Hikaru had chosen Min-Mei from way back. Who does he wind up with again? Doesn't this show seem to, echo itself sometimes?
A lot of times.
Yeah. I thought that I had going into all this, by the way, is I appreciate that we get Min-Mei and SDF Macross, and then plus her songs on karaoke. I think it was Mylene who liked Min-Mei songs in the past, but then she evolved into the Firebomber stuff. And then Cheryl, or no, it was Ozma really likes Firebomber, so Firebomber has replaced Min-Mei as the songs people are singing. It's the slow trail of music, right?
Except that one of the songs that Ranka sings in that finale is "Do You Remember Love?"
Except that also they both sing a number of Firebomber songs in that movie, Firebomber FP7. That's canon.
That's not in the ending. Yeah, but it's not. Well, I don't know how canon that is.
It's not canon. There's nothing that appears in that movie that doesn't make it not canon. There's nothing happens that's like, that didn't happen there, or that guy can't be there. Everything on there could still fit in everything. The fact that Alto's not there kind of just doesn't put it in movie universe or show universe. He just isn't there. For all we know, he's doing the walking with that in whatever they're called. I can't recall.
Power armor, yeah.
Yeah, the power armor.
The
he's getting punished for something.
EX, yeah. Yeah, so those are our rankings.
And also, so what if Rank is saying a really old song?
She's still saying it was evolution.
Yeah, it is an evolution. Literally, she's singing the Beatles, and then, Ozma and gang come along, and they're like, well, let's play some Black Sabbath though instead. It's not modern, because obviously whatever they sing on their own is modern. So they reached back 20 years instead of reaching back 40 years like Ranka did. And I'm not saying that in actual time span. I'm just saying as an example. Instead of pulling back to an old Beatles song about coming together and joining hands instead of war, they sang a Ozzy song about how the generals are commanding the war.
Do you remember love? This song is 100,000 years old.
Well, no,
if you follow the canon of
technically
movies.
Not. The whatever you call it, the music of the song is 100,000 years old. The lyrics are new.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
All right, I guess that is it though for the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess for Renka as well, because I don't think she's coming back. Unless there's a crossover. You don't know. I don't know how far into the future.
They are working right now on casting the new singer for the new series.
Yeah, they're doing a contest, which is interesting because that's the same thing that they did back when they did Frontier. Was they doing not a casting call, but a contest to see who would be the next idol.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, but I doubt it's going to be Renka.
No.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I said we're probably done with Renka, and you're like, well, they're doing a. It's like, I don't know if she can win another time.
Yeah.
Imagine, like, what are your qualifications? Well, I am the voice of Renka in Macross Frontier. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, nobody else is coming in here with experience already listed, but it would be interesting. I think I even mentioned to you this before when I was saying that I liked FB7 as my favorite of everything. That if... God, who did I say? I think it was Mylene. If Mylene showed up in Macross Frontier, she would only be 1 year younger than Ozma.
Yeah.
Because she's 14 in the show, which means, it's just like, to think about it, if Basara and gang did show up, they would be adults. You know?
I mean, the Thetas and what's his name were adults.
I don't know. They looked adults. They used to be, you know, Bargers and Trotty. I mean, Ray was an adult, but yeah.
Ray was
I'm talking about, like, you know, the typical point of view characters in these shows are the teenagers. Yeah, so they would go from... I mean, I would enjoy that. Like, if Delta shows up and it's Firebomber and they're, like, 50 years old and they're, like, trying to teach people, like, what things were like or how to sing the music or whatever like that. Like, the things that we talked about early on, Hikaru showing up later to teach classes about piloting and whatnot, except that we can't do that because they just fucked off and vanished. But these are characters that are still around. Like, I wouldn't want Isamu to do it because Isamu would get people killed.
I don't think so.
Look, there's a difference between Tom Cruise teaching a Top Gun class and Isamu, who's like so fucking reckless.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise raced a horse on a motorcycle. Isamu almost bashed a woman's face into a truck. There's different levels of recklessness here. I think Isamu would get people killed. I don't want him teaching a class. Alright, well, I guess if that is it then for the rankings, then once again, I've been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?